When I think of my dad, I think of the focus and drive that he has had his entire life to really get whatever's ahead of him, whatever he's set his mind to is usually the only thing that he has on his mind and that he's focused on, and it's something that I think a lot of people in the community and at both companies have noticed.
He is a really talented individual, and there isn't anybody better. We often say he can pick up a dime with an excavator, but you wouldn't find him under the fluorescent lights in a permit hearing. That wouldn't go so well.
He's always been very goal-oriented. If he sees something he wants done, he will figure out a way to get it done. And I just had to trust that. But I did question it many times. I still remember a conversation we had. I said, "Are you ever going to get a paycheck?"
We are excited to have a celebration of Casella's 50th anniversary.
There's always room to innovate.
Growth has been explosive.
I think that this company is his biggest legacy. I think that, what he started in 1975, that's clearly his biggest legacy.
I never was a big one for school, And my idea at MHJ was school was painting, fixing a boiler. I really didn't get into doing a lot of school. Before I graduated high school, I had a couple of things going on. I worked on the farm. Pick bales and take bales out of the hayfield. That was my weightlifting for football. I plowed snow. I did quite a bit of that with a Scout. And I got the money from buying the Scout from the farm. Well, I sold the Scout and I got a 3/4 ton pickup. That's the way it started.
The real vision in terms of the beginning of the company was Doug. He did all kinds of things. He was a serial entrepreneur for sure. If there's ever one, it was my brother for sure. He was way out in front of everyone. His entrepreneurial spirit, his grit, his vision for what could be. In '75, when he started the company with that one truck.
I don't think he had a fear of failing, or I think he figured he would figure it out. He just seemed so driven, and this is what I want, and this is what I'm going to do.
Because back then it was one person. That's what I did. It was just bring the trash in, and you get done with that, you get on a bulldozer and you compacted it, and then you covered it, and that's the way it went back then. First customer was really Montgomery Ward's, which was mostly just cardboard. This piece of property right here was Montgomery Ward's. It's now a parking lot, but that's what it was. And that was our first big customer, was these guys. We're in the backside here, and we pull up and then back in.
The first year of the company, he was operating out of the house, and There may have been some other places where he was parking trucks before the house, so you have to talk to him about that. But yeah, my mom would answer the phone. She would, take care of the radios. Dad would certainly help, with the truck and, fixing the trucks and things of that nature. And then my dad bought the Danby landfill. That ended up being a significant facility early on that really helped us begin to put the business together.
The driveway is in the same spot that it was. But when you came up in here, you can kind of see where it pulls off now. Well, we used to drive the trucks in there, and then up in that corner where that little house is now, little barn is now, that's where we parked the truck. My dad came in one day, wanted to park his truck, and son of a bitch, there was no place for him to park his truck. And that was the end. That's when the truck started going down to my uncle's. That's the way it was.
He'd have like a little office in the basement of his parents' house, and I would do the bills, monthly bills, and that was just what we did.
She did all the bills for the whole company, commercial, everything. So thank God, because if I had to do the bills, we'd probably still be putting them out.
When Doug started working, he had John come in, and John was the PR, and Doug wanted nothing to do with it.
Fluorescent lights and computers? Nah. Give me a set of levers or steering wheel. Johnny had the education from Brown, so he knew that side.
I was on a different path. I was in business development at Killington. At one point in time, he said to me, you ought to quit that job at Killington, come be my partner. And it took me about a nanosecond to figure that one out.
He can talk to anybody and I call it smoozing. He can smooze anybody and get, go out in front of 300 people at a town hearing. He was very good at that and got it done. Mostly the way it went is that Bristol, he'd go and do the deal, and then I'd go in and work it. He'd go and do the deal in Newbury, and then I'd go in and work it. And that's the way it worked. Pretty much if it was inside the office, Johnny had the last word. If it was outside the office, then I had the last word. And it worked pretty well for, 45 years?
I think it was late 76 or early 77 that we moved from the house down to Center Rutland, where we built the recycling facility. Doug can probably tell you that better.
Right in front of us is where the building was, is where we started doing the recycling and all of that. It went from about here over, and it had part of the loading docks and all of that. We backed up. We had a dump trailer inside, and we dumped the cans.
When Killington came on came a new truck. Got a new LN 8000 with a 20-yard Loadmaster with a hydraulic winch, 15,000-pound hydraulic winch, that was state-of-the-art back then. That was really modern. Hey, it was almost getting there. The new truck came in, and very shortly after that, Kenny came. Anything that I needed, Kenny did. It didn't make a difference. He did the mountain for me, which I wouldn't let anybody go up the mountain. I don't care what time or when or what I needed, Kenny was there for me. Did a hell of a job.
I think it's pretty obvious the feeling that we have about Kenny. It just brings back such memories of his commitment to his customers. He was the man on the mountain. There's no question about it. And they were his customers. Building an organization is really about people. And boy, are we blessed.
Places where the heart resides, brothers laugh and lovers cry, hold each other up when we can't stand. Back home with my family, it's right there where I want to be. It's all I need to be a rich man.
You'll never find another employee like that again. Unreal. Unreal.
Kenny was the very first employee that Doug ever hired. I was shortly after that. When I came on board, there wasn't very many of us. And we had to do whatever it was. It wasn't you just had one job. You did everything, whatever needed to be done. There'd be times I'd come in, if somebody wasn't in a packer, I'd run a packer truck. I swore I'd never pick up garbage, but I did. Didn't hurt me.
Back when I started, there was probably 5 trucks maybe. And, there was maybe 8 or 10 people working for the company.
Hands-on, everybody was hands-on. Everybody's opinion counted, and you all pitched in and did what needed to be done.
We used to go out, we'd do the route, pick up the trash or recycling, whichever it happened to be at the time. And you go back to Center Rutland, and they used to do the recycling there. So we would help everybody that was there get everything done for the day.
There is the plant, right there. Right there. The front, yep. That was the recycling plant. It used to have our name until just a little while ago right there. I don't know if you can see it, but that's Recycle Vermont, which goes back a long time. And that's Casella, it says underneath it, Casella Waste Management. There's Johnny's office. That was his office. And a little different now, but over on the other side was part of the recycling. That was a dock. If you look there, you'll see a dock. That's where a lot of the stuff, tractor trailers used to come in here.
You had to do the job and do the job correctly. And I had one place that mornings that would be locked up. So finally I got tired of going there and then having to go back later on to pick it up. And I told them on the radio, I said, it's locked up again. I said, I'm not gonna bother to pick it up. And Doug turned around, he got on the radio and said, just remember who signed your paycheck. I went back and got it. Oh yes.
He never asked you to do something that he wouldn't do himself. And I've learned a lot from working with him, but Doug works, so he's not happy unless he's working. In a lot of weeks, him and I would work over 100 hours a week on the clock.
I keep telling myself that. This is fun, this is fun, this is fun.
That's why they called us.
That's right.
And Doug and I just hit it off from the get-go. Doug was spent more time with him than I did my wives. And I did say wives. I'm very privileged and honored to actually say that I can call Doug Casella a friend of mine.
Almost every one of the landfills that we got, I worked in. That's what I did. I'd go in and start, get it ready, get people in place, and then, hand it off, go to the next one. That was, 6, 8 landfills. 2 or 3 transfer stations, 3 hauling companies.
one of the blessings that we had was we had very different interests. Doug was so good at what he did, it was just natural. It was a natural complementary skill sets that, you know, enabled us the freedom to do what we both love to do every day, and it really worked out very well in that regard.
When I first started, I was working for Waste Management. That's where all my checks came from, because construction wasn't even thought of. And then as we got going, everything started working great. Casella Waste was really flourishing and really growing in a lot of directions. And Doug saw that.
I saw some opportunity there, I guess. And what really bothered me is seeing equipment sit. How can you have something that you work so hard to get? Ah, you got it. Ah, there it is. Oh, it's sitting there looking at you. Can't have that. Hence, a construction company. And I always did like running equipment. There's no doubt about that.
I mean, he was the best equipment operator that there was. I mean, that there is. He was always doing it. That was his passion, whether it was that or, you know, driving trucks. People said that it couldn't be done in a piece of equipment. He was going to do it, and he was going to do it well. And that was usually his claim to fame. And he would look for those opportunities of people saying it couldn't be done because he wanted to do it, and he frankly could.
So we started, you know, small, doing some little work around the city, and then we got a little bigger, took down some fairly good-sized buildings around here. One of them was right next to the church down there, and you still can see the stained glass windows.
See which would be the best place to get in. I guess it don't matter. You see this purple line? Okay, you can see it right here. You can see it, windows right here.
I was pretty proud of that because we had a 4-story building next to it. And we took the building down and we never cracked a window. And then we started into bigger stuff. We did the mall, even though it's not running anymore. We did the original mall we built, which was probably our biggest job. And then we're Holiday Inn. We did some work in there. Hannaford's, we did that whole complex. It used to be King's, we did that whole complex. We did Montgomery Ward's, where that was, up where Home Depot is. We did that whole complex. So we got kind of on both ends, you know, doing stuff.
It wasn't anything here but a field. A field and a pretty good sized hill. All of the stone from this ledge got crushed on the side over here. I got a crusher, and all of that stone got crushed and put back in this parking lot, which was kind of neat. Didn't have to go and haul everything in.
Doug ran the construction company, I ran the waste company, and we were on both boards, and you know, we were 50-50 owners of the construction company for a period of time. It was the right thing to do, very, very much so.
My dad would take me on weekends when I was a couple years old, and he'd typically be running an excavator, driving a truck, doing something somewhere, and he'd take me along. And I remember stories from my mom where I was in an excavator, usually falling asleep, because we'd be out there for 10, 12, 14 hours, whatever it was, you know.
Well, he'd put his hands on top of mine. That's how he learned. That's how we learned.
Every Saturday for most of my childhood, we would go with him, and we'd go to wherever he was working. He wasn't home very much during the week, so that was like kind of the time we got to spend with him, and there were significantly less rules with him than my mom, and significantly less supervision.
Doug was building Harry Ryan's, digging his foundation up at the top of the hill. And I remember going up there, and Joe was sitting in the excavator, and I'm like, and I watched Joe, and the expression on his face was like total focus. But I remember thinking, are you kidding me? You're letting him do that by himself?
I've always watched him approach things with, you know, a big heart and a loving mind to, you know, take care of those that are taking care of him.
You look over the edge here a little bit. You can see this abutment and this bridge. This is all, well, not new, it's a few years old, but that was all gone. This whole thing was gone. You know, basically, you can see some of the bigger rots that we had. You can see the corner had water running back down here. That was all gone. You can see some of the slope up there, but the road itself is gone. Maybe a half a lane left, but not enough.
In my eyes, putting back together Route 4 was his biggest accomplishment. That's what I think of, because that was an emergency situation, and I've always told him, you should have been a fireman because you love to put out fires, you love to save people, and I think that's what it is. He wants to save someone or help someone.
We're standing in the middle of the Mendon Brook. The governor tells us that the transportation department had said that they weren't sure whether they could get the road open. You know, Route 4 is completely washed out. It's going to take 6 months to 10 months to fix the road, right? And my brother's, standing there, and he says, well, Governor, I think, we can probably get this done in 18 days, 20 days, we can get it done.
Couldn't get a fire truck up that road. Couldn't get an ambulance up that road. And so it needed to be fixed.
He would work nonstop, and he'd sleep for a couple hours and just to get it done. I just remember saying, you better be careful. And he said, I know my limits. I said, I don't think you do.
It was open in 20 days before fall foliage. Unfortunately for him, it took a toll on him, significant toll. But that's my brother, and he wouldn't do it any differently today than what he did then.
He was in a coma in the hospital for about 2 months in the beginning. It wasn't an easy process for him or us as a family. Just being sick and get him to being back to driving and functioning normally and doing all the things that people want to do, but it was also incredibly tough when you get a caged lion in a hospital and the doctors are telling him that he can't do something because no one ever tells him he can't.
Took a long time, and Maureen and other people helping me get back on my feet. Because it definitely knocked me on my ass for for a while.
Most of my life, all that mattered was work, and I think that that's all that mattered to my dad as well. And I think through going through that process ultimately, and it causes you to take pause and just take stock in your life and what's actually important. The business is important, but the family always comes first, and we bonded together and got through it. I think his legacy is ultimately having numerous companies that succeed him and are able to flourish in the years after, and I think continuing to keep it in the family is also a key aspect of that legacy.
7 wonders, city streets, ocean air and mountain peaks. They are not the finest in the land. Much more than these I have seen firsthand.
He was a hard ass as a father for numerous reasons, but he's a softie when it comes to my boys.
And no matter where I go, and no matter what I do, there ain't nothing like coming home to you.
I saw something really cool as I saw Ryan and William sitting on Joe's lap running the machine, and that's kind of neat to see. That really is something. It's kind of nice to see the next generation.
Home with my family, it's right there where I wanna be. It's all I need to be a rich man. There ain't nothing like
bonded by a lot of things that keep us together, and honesty, integrity, and not accepting no is in our DNA. There's always a way to get to where you want to go. It's just a matter of finding it. And as soon as you quit, that's when you fail. And we never quit.
It's all I need to be a rich man. They are all I need to be a rich man.